What's up, friends of the good mood? This is Manni, and welcome to a massive rebalance here for Robots that really is going to change everything, or a lot at least. However, there are also a few things where I say I wish they were among the list. Big problems that aren't even addressed with this. My opinion, the biggest problem is actually, which ones those are, I'm going to explain to you guys. But without further ado, and not trying to make this a super long video, 7.9 update incoming, right? Where they try to tune down the tier 4 dominant robots to be more in line with the rest of the roster, and to make certain must-have things a little less must-have and a little more options to come in. Yeah, there's a test server for this, and some changes aren't in there. Namely, we want to address the last stand ubiquitousness. 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 Yes, that. It's basically the all-presence of Last Stand. No matter where you look, it's always there. You can't get past it because it's everywhere. That is what this word basically means. Never heard this in my entire life, so yeah, that was new. And also bump Behemoth's quality of life, because yes, the Behemoth is actually finally able to walk around with all weapons active. I'll have a video coming with this very soon. But yeah, so first, safe zone. There are robots that are not being touched. For instance, the Fafnir. Many of you will be happy to hear this. I also have one in my hangar. I'm happy too. Excuse me, hiccups. We aren't nerfing this melee specialist because its bulkiness, especially when paired with Bernadette Wolf, legendary pilot, is balanced out by its mobility that is not very impressive. It's not a super slow robot, but it's not a very fast one, and so it gets to remain as tanky as it is, and that is really awesome, so they're not going to touch this. Furthermore, also, Typhon Erebus won't be touched. Siren and Harpy also won't be touched. These things are really crazy, and now with a legendary pilot, it's going to be more crazy, too crazy probably, but they're brand new, so obviously not yet being touched, but at the same time, they deserve probably a little look at. These ones don't. Anyways, let's keep going. This is just my opinion here on it. Mender. The OG repair bot is making somewhat of a comeback thanks to Marie Leclerc, the legendary pilot. We think it is pretty healthy, got it? Because it's a health restoring robot. State showing up a bit below Demeter and Nightingale in our stats, which is perfect for a tier 3 robot. Demeter, it's doing fine. So it's not going to change. However, there are some things that are going to change because there were a lot of vote results. The Pixonic made a poll apparently, and 11,000 responses. If I had known about it, we could have mentioned it somewhere in the video. Maybe we could have done it, made it up to 50,000 responses or something, but doesn't matter. We have a lot of responses, and the opinions are relatively clear. Out of all the robots that are too overpowered, according to us, the player base, Fafnir, Orochi, and Revenant make the top 3 with almost 50% of the altogether overpoweredness in just these 3 robots. Everyone else together, all other robots combined, only make 28 or 29%. And the Luchador Titan, as a topic for later, also is irrelevant, but it's not a robot. So therefore these 3 here, it's a Titan. It's still a robot, but it's a Titan. Now, and for this, robot, things are changing. Fafnir's speed in the flight, or the flight speed from 100, why it was ever at 100, I never understood why it was this fast. Never made any sense to me other than being a new super powerful meta bot. Yeah, but it's gonna be 63 then, so almost 40% less speed, which makes it easier to hit this thing. It can't get in cover so quickly. Also, the weapon, the built-in weapon is now capped. It was not capped before. You can have it improved and amplified so much by taking damage into your absorber shield that you would basically one-hit kill all the Titans in the game. There's a video actually coming up where I show this. It's insane. So that will be changed. It's capped at 200%, so only double damage is max you can get, which is still a lot of damage boost. And then Titan damage also from 220% multiplier to 150, so Titans won't be squished this fast anymore, which I think is okay because, you know, there's a Titans. However, and then there's the Orion battleship that still somehow one-hits Titans. I have a video up here, top right corner. I literally one-hit 2 Titans with 1 Orion battleship air support. What? Check out that video if you haven't seen it yet, ladies and gents. But yeah, as I said, many problems are not being addressed in here. Let's keep going. So they're explaining this. The Revenant, a durability loss of 10%, but 10% more durability on the shields. I would even go so far to say you could improve the physical shields by 20%, because they seem to fall off way too fast. Yeah, and then the damage mitigation when the ability runs is instead of 99, only 90%, so it now does make sense to shoot it. It's not worthless to shoot it when its ability is active, was previous the case, and very demotivating when this guy was attacking you. You had to sit out its ability basically and do nothing. That's not very good gameplay. The Orochi, stealth duration from 5 to 4 seconds, so less stealth duration, 20% less, and ability cooldown from 18 to 22 seconds on restoring a charge. That is a significant nerf of about 20% at least for the Orochi, maybe even 25% nerf right here. That is a very, very good change. The Hawk Reflector goes in mitigation from 85 to 70%. Hawk doesn't seem to be this much of a problem to me anymore, but it's still in here, and I think overall it's a good change. It makes a little more sense to shoot a little bit into that Hawk, although with a Reflector you still don't really want to shoot it because you're doing damage to yourself. Shell durability reduced by 10%, shields increased by 10%. So there is the same thing as the Revenant. So that is these things, the metas now. High damage builds are also being adjusted. And for this, with last stand tweaks planned for the next session and changes to main brawlers, Revenant and Shell, we can finally address these builds as well. Snare, Skadi, and Hail, the new laser weapons, drastic nerf. 50 to 40 ammo capacity, so they won't fire for as long before they have to reload, and the reload interval from 10 to 15 seconds, so the damage over a long period of time is heavily decreased with this, and overall it's you can still take out robots very quickly. The alpha damage isn't changed, yeah, you're still going to notice a drop in damage significantly over longer matches. Toxin Bane Venom, damage by corrosion 25% less, that's quite a significant nerf. And Blaze Ember Igniter, I don't know why they are in here, because in my opinion these things are... yeah, they don't seem overpowered to me. They get reduced in terms of firepower. No, sorry. In terms of ammo capacity. 200 to 150. So they will require a reload 25% faster now. And I don't think that was necessary. These things were good, they were the way they are. Very hard and heavy to handle. So Pixonic, in case these numbers are not yet set in stone, I think this should go away, because these weapons are so hard to control and so hard to hit moving targets with it. It's so difficult. You need that extra ammo to even be able to hit something sometimes when things are moving around. Okay? And not everybody is a tank and standing still. So I don't think it's necessary. The area effect is increased from 7 to 9 meters. That's a decent change, because you do have a splash radius, and the sense of these weapons is to provide fire in front of you and hit maybe even multiple targets sometimes. Nuclear Amplifier, the stack accumulation rate is from 1 every 20,000 damage done to 25,000 damage done. So it takes you 25% longer now to get to the highest stack maximum. However, even that changes. The damage bonus per stack is also from 0.1% to 0.08, so also here 20% less damage boost that you're gaining from the nuclear amplifier. The maximum stack amount has been increased from 80 to 95, so overall you might get somewhere to the same damage boost as before, but it will take you much longer with these changes here, and you have to get to 95 stacks to get the instant heal and the damage mitigation at the end. And that damage mitigation, however, is increased from 20 to 25%. So something is a buff, something is a nerf. Overall, it is a nerf for the nuclear amplifier. A bit of a nerf, not much. At the same time, buffs for Scourger Incinerator. Interesting, Scout is not on that, right? Damage increased by 10%, I agree. They weren't really performing as well as they should have. And then we have Puncher, Particle Spread. So you're not hitting as accurately as long range anymore. The insane alpha damage of allowing to one-hit targets, even with just one Punisher, is pretty much still there. I don't know why that isn't changed, because that really deserves a look at, but it's the spread that changes. And again, this is what I meant in the beginning. What hasn't changed or isn't changing are the real problems, in my opinion. Although, don't get me wrong, I'm not ungrateful. I like these changes overall, and I support them. However, in my opinion, and I've said this many of times, and this is the video where this fits, you know, is the drone support is causing the biggest discomfort and problems in war robots with being too often, too
ubiquitousness.
Too ubiquitous. Yes, because, you know, they trigger every freaking 5 seconds, and that is too fast. These absorber shields interfering with our flow of combat and fun in the game by constantly popping up and making you waste firepower into the shield and making you stop shooting. It's not supposed to be in a game where your job is to fire at enemies and destroy things, you know? And also the heal back, the instant heal from the Revenant, for example, or any robot for that matter, on the Nebula drone or on the instant fix D-slot microchips. Every 5 seconds that can trigger. Why? It's too fast. This is a really big problem. It changes the dynamic of the game to be so stupid sometimes with unlimited health and unlimited shieldings and all that kind of stuff. This is what we need to see changed, because that will make the flow of combat back to where war robots used to be so much fun back in the days where there weren't these constant absorber shields. You remember that time? I do too. And if we had a downtime and from the interval between the pop-ups of shields from drone support and the pop-ups of heal back, restore fixes, instead of 5 seconds delay, at least 10 or 15, at least 15 seconds really, where the shields and the heal back does not trigger again. That will leave you time to actually fight the robot and deal damage, even though it did trigger in the first place, but then you have a little bit of free time where it won't. Same as they now finally, after such a long time, listened and improved the negative effect duration. You get a negative effect, suppression, lockdown, and so on, right? You used to be able to have that 5-second effect, 5 seconds immunity to it, and then you can be suppressed and locked again. So 50% of your playtime you were able to be suppressed and locked. Unbelievable that this was allowed to be so long. I've been saying this for years, that this needs to change, that the immunity needs to be longer before the effect can trigger again. And that is the same, they finally did that now. We now have a 10-second immunity to suppression and lockdown and so on before it can happen again. Very important things, and I applaud you for this, Pixonic, because it really puts the game back in a flow of combat that's fun and that it's not frustrating as much. But at the same time, these drone supports need to change too. And I know 95% at least of you guys out there agree with this. You're also annoyed by these constant absorber shields. Even the meta players don't like it. They're running it themselves. They need to, because they have to compete in this environment, but they don't like it themselves because it interferes with the flow of combat and makes it stupid. Now, that was 2 and 3 minutes that you're never gonna get back. And but I felt like it was worth it because it fits here and it needs to be said. Anyways, other tweaks. Lancelot movement speed 36 to 38. Jäger movement speed, newer robot, 58 to 60, also 2 kph more, but you see where old versus new is. The Jäger is not supposed to be a faster robot than the Lancelot or whatever, right? They're both tanky, kind of slowish robots, but somehow the Jäger is newer, so it has 58 as a default value, and this 36, just as an interesting side note here. Wayland, 30 to 40 in the defense bonus ability. That is really good. That has got a good amount of defense rating, and it is a good healer. It's just that so stupid that you have to sit still to heal. I wish they would also allow it to move around, at least slowly. Phantom, ability defense bonus from 50 to 55. Interesting, because the Phantom used to have much more, I think 70 or 80 or something, a lot. And then it was changed to 50, and now they're going back a little, because the Phantom isn't really played much anymore, and although it is, however, a good robot, actually. And the playstyle is really interesting with that teleport back, but people don't use it in the meta anymore. It's not competitive. Excuse me. That will help a little bit. Not too much, though. Bulwark energy shield, 10% more durability. That's awesome, because it already has so much. And that's its strength, so I support this. That's what makes the Bulwark the Bulwark. However, the Fafnirs are the problem with their legendary pilots. Again, problems that are really big problems, like the legendary pilot on the Fafnir being able to bypass shields forever. Orochi's getting a third ability slot just built into the robot with a legendary pilot. or now the Siren and Harpy having free shield bypass during their ability flight. Although in this case it's not so bad because that's only for a few seconds. On the Fafnir it's really bad because he has that the whole time. That's where the problem lies. And these things are unfortunately not in the list. Anyways, Raijin, shield durability increased 20%. Man, the Raijin already feels like a freaking Arthur when the shield's up, right? But now it's 20% faster, stronger. Cool. I like that. Mercury increased. Mercury Raker Invader, 10% more durability. Tier Robot, repair capacity increased by 15%. Awesome. The tier it now can repair even faster, and that's good because it's a good repair robot. So it's a very good supporter. Battleborn effect, 20 to 25%. I really never use Battleborn. Why? Because it can only trigger once. I don't like things that can only trigger once. I just don't like them. I think they were wasted wasted passive module slot for me when they can only hit once in the beginning. But some people like it, especially in free for all. In the beginning, it's really useful. Nitro unit deactivation threshold lowered to 60% from 70. Reading this remembered me that there is actually a threshold. I never really used that, and I totally forgot that there is even a threshold, like Overdrive, for example, where you have to get lower on HP to be able to activate this. Why? No one, like, so few people are actually even using this. I don't even think it's more than a handful of people who are actually using Nitro unit right there, and having you have to sacrifice a passive module slot. That could have been potentially Last Stand or something important like a nuclear amplifier, repair amplifier, something anti-control, something insanely important, you know? You sacrifice that slot and for getting faster, and then you're not even faster because you have to take 40% damage first to be faster? Why? That makes no sense to me. Just remove the threshold altogether, Pixonic. Again, you know, you said in the beginning these changes are not set in stone. They're not, they're work in progress. Just remove the threshold altogether. This thing wouldn't be unfair, because you have to sacrifice so much for it. Trebuchet, this is good. Full reload interval from 23 to 18 seconds. Oh yes. So the Trebuchet hurts a lot, but the thing is the Ballista is actually stronger, and that makes no sense. Although it makes sense when you see that Ballista is newer, Trebuchet is old, and despite Trebuchet being the same category weapon, it's the heavy weapon, and it's weaker than the medium weapon. It makes no sense. So now the reload is shorter, and that's good. But the Arbalest and Ballista are also getting 10% more damage increase. So, okay, we're back at the same thing where the Trebuchet is still weaker than the Ballista. Pixonic buff Trebuchets, big time. Because, I don't know, 25% more damage output now. Something that, the recharge. Yeah, the recharge must be much faster. Because you know how fast the Ballista and Arbalest charges. Look at that, right? Yeah, it needs to recharge faster. Faster than this. Magnetar damage increased by 15%. I'm surprised to see this in the list because the Magnetar is a super powerful meta weapon, actually. Yeah, I don't think this should be here. And I'm really afraid because the freaking Capri robot can run 4 of those, and that's not going to be good. So, yeah, don't think this should be. Maybe might make this 5%. Yeah, if you really need to buff this, make it 5%, but nah, not more. The Magnetar is a super powerful weapon. Atomizer damage, 10%. Halo Corona Glory, 10%. Very, very good. And Zeus and Ion, 10%. Yes. And the Behemoth can now walk. Again, a video about this is coming up. And check out also the video where I one-hit kill battleships with the Orion battleship. Again, Titans, I mean. Again, this is a thing that needs to be addressed. This needs to be in the list as well. But yeah, I'm really happy. I'm seeing a lot of really good changes here already. Pixonic is having work in progress, as they say. So, yeah, let's hopefully a few things make it into that list as well, in my opinion. And for now, this has been long enough as a video. Thanks for watching, for your attention, ladies and gents. I hope you have a great day, time, whatever it is for you, and see you around in the next one. Manni signing off. Bye-bye.